Have you ever woken up, looked in the mirror, and felt like the person looking back at you aged, almost overnight? As if that firm, healthy glow you once took for granted had just vanished? It's a quiet, unsettling feeling that so many of us know all too well. The truth is, this feeling isn't just in your head. It's real. Shocking research confirms that in the first 5 years after menopause, women can lose up to 30% of their skin's collagen. 30%. It's a staggering number. And here's the nightmare that follows. Many of us spend hundreds, even thousands of dollars on expensive creams and lotions, desperately hoping for a miracle. Yet, studies show that over 80% of women see no lasting results. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that too often sells hope in a jar, not a real, honest solution. But what if I told you that the most powerful tool for rebuilding your skin isn't on a cosmetics counter at all? My name is Dr. Eliza Hart. I'm a board-certified gynecologist, and after 15 years of helping women navigate these exact changes, I'm here to tell you that the solution is likely waiting for you right now, in the produce aisle of your local grocery store. I'm not talking about theory. I've seen this reality time and time again with my own patients. Women who felt hopeless, who truly believed youthful skin was a thing of the past, completely transformed their appearance and their confidence. Not with costly procedures, but with simple, daily choices from nature. In today's video, I am not here to sell you anything. I'm here to arm you with honest, medically backed guidance. I'm going to walk you through the 3 scientifically proven fruits that help protect, defend, and rebuild your skin from the inside out. And please, be sure to stay with me until the very end, because I'll explain how these 3 fruits work together as a complete skin defense system. A secret that actually multiplies their power when they are combined. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have felt this way. If you've ever felt that deep frustration with expensive creams that just don't work, please comment a simple, "I understand," below. It shows me you're here, and it helps others in our community know they are not alone in this feeling. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with our first fruit. This one is all about protection. It's our guardian. Fruit number 1. Pomegranate, the collagen protector. The first and perhaps most profound challenge we face as we grow older is that the very foundation of our skin, our collagen, begins to weaken. And after 50, it can weaken quite rapidly. This is what leads to that feeling of looseness, or that sagging along the jawline that can be so disheartening to see in the mirror. It's a change that can make us feel fragile. To understand what's happening, I want you to think of your skin like the foundation of a house. When it's first built, it's strong and solid, supported by a network of steel bars, or rebar, inside the concrete. In our skin, collagen is that rebar. It's the protein framework, the scaffolding, that gives our skin its firmness, its structure, and its youthful resilience. For years, this framework has held strong. But as we age, a natural process begins. Our bodies have what I like to call a demolition crew. Tiny enzymes that are designed to break down old collagen. When we're younger, this isn't a problem. Our bodies are also running a construction crew at full speed, building new collagen just as fast as the old is taken away. But here is the core reason why this changes so dramatically for women. As our bodies wisely shift their resources after our childbearing years, our estrogen levels naturally decline. This decline acts like a signal, essentially giving that demolition crew a green light to work overtime, while telling the construction crew to slow down. The result is a net loss. We start losing our structural support faster than we can rebuild it. That is why the change can feel so sudden. It's not just a slow drift. It's a fundamental shift in our skin's internal balance, leading to that feeling of hollowness, or skin that just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. But here is where the story turns incredibly hopeful. Science has discovered that we can intervene in this process. We can gently tell the demolition crew to take a break. And one of the most powerful, natural ways to do this is with the pomegranate. This beautiful, ancient fruit contains special antioxidant compounds, particularly polyphenol, that act like guardians for your collagen. They help to inhibit those overactive enzymes, slowing down the breakdown of your skin's precious framework. This isn't just a theory. It's backed by solid scientific proof. A well-conducted study, published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2019, looked at this very issue in postmenopausal women. One group was given pure pomegranate juice every day for 12 weeks. The results were not just based on opinion. They were measurable. The women who drank the juice showed significant improvements in their skin's elasticity and a visible reduction in fine lines compared to those who didn't. They achieved this not with a $50 cream or an expensive procedure, but with a simple glass of juice. I remember this so clearly with a patient of mine, a wonderful retired schoolteacher named Carol. Carol came to see me, feeling deeply discouraged. She told me, her voice quiet, "Dr. Hart, I look in the mirror and I feel like I'm becoming invisible. I've spent over $500 this year on creams that promise the world, and nothing has changed." She felt hopeless. I could see the sadness in her eyes. We talked for a while, and I gently suggested an experiment. I said, "Carol, I know this might sound too simple to be true, but what if, for the next 2 months, you just add a small handful of pomegranate seeds to your morning yogurt? Let's just see what happens." She was skeptical, of course. A fruit, after all the money she had spent, but she was willing to try. She came back for a follow-up about 8 weeks later. The change was subtle, but it was undeniable. She sat down, and there was a new light in her eyes. She leaned forward and said, "You know, something strange is happening. My skin, it just feels fuller, plumper." She used that exact word, plumper. It wasn't a dramatic, overnight miracle, but it was a real, tangible change that came from nourishing her body from the inside. The best part wasn't just her skin. It was her renewed sense of hope, the feeling that she had found a simple, affordable tool that gave her back a measure of control. This is something every single one of us can do. The solution is wonderfully simple. All it takes is about a half cup of the fresh seeds, often called arils, or a small 8-ounce glass of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice each day. You can sprinkle the seeds over your morning oatmeal, toss them into a salad for a bright burst of flavor, or mix them into yogurt, just like Carol did. The key is not complexity, but consistency. It's about making this a small, enjoyable ritual of self-care. If protecting the very foundation of your skin sounds important to you, I invite you to comment the word "protect" below. It's a small way to make a commitment to yourself, and to let others know we are all on this journey together. Fruit number 2. Blueberries, the wrinkle defender. Now, protecting the collagen we already have is the essential first step. It's like shoring up the foundation of our house. But even with a strong foundation, the walls of the house can still face damage from the outside world. This brings us to the second challenge for our skin, the relentless, silent damage that carves fine lines and wrinkles onto our faces. This is a different kind of aging. It isn't about the structure weakening from within, but about the surface being worn down by a constant, invisible storm. We call this process oxidative stress. It's a term you may have heard, but I want to explain it in a very simple way. Imagine a tiny spark landing on a piece of paper. It creates a small, dark mark. Now, imagine thousands of these tiny sparks landing on that paper every single day, year after year. Over time, those little marks add up, making the paper look old, discolored, and fragile. In our bodies, these sparks are unstable molecules called free radicals. They are a natural byproduct of our metabolism, of turning food into energy. But we are also bombarded with them from the outside world, from sun exposure, from pollution, and even from the stress in our daily lives. These free radicals are chaotic. They bounce around inside our cells, damaging everything they touch, our cell membranes, our proteins, even our DNA. And this damage accumulates over time, showing up on our skin as uneven tone, dullness, and a deepening of those fine lines around our eyes and mouth. Now, here is the core reason this becomes a more urgent issue as we age. When we are younger, our bodies are equipped with a powerful army of antioxidants, our own internal firefighters, that rush to put out these sparks before they can do any harm. But as we get older, our natural antioxidant defenses begin to decline. Our firefighting squad gets smaller and slower. This is why our skin becomes more vulnerable to environmental damage after 50. We simply don't have the same level of built-in protection we used to. This is where the humble blueberry steps in as our hero. Blueberries are, quite simply, one of the most powerful natural defenses we have against this process. Their beautiful, deep blue color comes from compounds called anthocyanins. These compounds are among the most potent antioxidants found anywhere in the plant kingdom. They act as a reinforcement for our body's aging defenses. They are like a fresh team of firefighters, arriving to help neutralize those damaging free radicals before they can inflict their damage on our precious skin cells. The scientific evidence supporting this is incredibly strong. It's not just a hopeful idea, it's a proven reality. In a landmark study from researchers at Harvard, published in 2018, they didn't just look at skin. They looked at the entire process of biological aging. They found that women who consistently ate at least 3 servings of berries each week had a significantly slower rate of aging overall. This wasn't measured by how they looked, but by scientific biomarkers of damage and inflammation inside their bodies. It's powerful, powerful science, confirming that this simple fruit is linked to measurable protection at the cellular level. I saw this beautiful effect firsthand with a patient of mine named Susan, a lovely woman in her late 60s who was a retired nurse. She was very knowledgeable about health, but she felt frustrated. She told me, "Dr. Hart, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but every year I see more and more of these little lines spreading across my face. It feels like a battle I'm losing." During our conversation, I learned that she didn't eat berries very often. So, just like with Carol, we decided on a simple experiment. I suggested she start adding a modest handful of frozen blueberries to her morning smoothie. Frozen berries are wonderful because they retain nearly all their nutritional power and are available and affordable all year long. Susan agreed to try it. About 2 months later, she came back to my office for a checkup. She was beaming. She said, "You won't believe this. Last week, 2 of my friends from my book club pulled me aside and asked me what new face cream I was using. They said my skin just looked brighter." She laughed and said, "Nothing in my bathroom has changed. It was my blender that did all the work." Her story was such a beautiful illustration of the principle. She hadn't changed a single thing on the surface. The transformation that her friends noticed came entirely from defending her skin from within. Incorporating this defender into your life is perhaps the easiest step of all. Aim for a modest handful, which is about 3/4 of a cup, each day. You can blend them into a smoothie like Susan did, stir them into your yogurt or oatmeal, or simply enjoy them as a refreshing afternoon snack. The simple act of eating them regularly provides a constant, protective shield against the subtle but relentless stress that ages our skin. By doing this, you're not just smoothing out wrinkles. You are supporting the health of your entire body. So, now that we have protected our foundation and defended our walls, we need to talk about the final, crucial step: renewal. Fruit number 3. Kiwi, the renewal builder. Alright, we've talked about protecting the collagen we have with pomegranate, and defending our skin from damage with blueberries. These 2 steps are absolutely crucial. They are like having a great defense on a sports team. But a great defense alone doesn't win the game. You also need a great offense. You need the ability to score, to move forward, to rebuild. This brings us to the third and final piece of our skin health puzzle: renewal. For our skin to look truly healthy, fresh, and vibrant, it must be able to constantly repair and rebuild itself. Skin that cannot renew will inevitably look tired, flat, and fragile, no matter how well we protect it. And for this task of renewal, our bodies depend on one nutrient more than any other. That nutrient is vitamin C. Now, when we think of vitamin C, most of us immediately think of oranges. And oranges are wonderful. But I'm going to share a little secret with you today. Ounce for ounce, the fuzzy little kiwi fruit contains significantly more vitamin C than an orange. This makes the kiwi an absolute powerhouse for skin renewal. It is the essential raw material your body needs to actually synthesize or build new collagen fibers. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine you're trying to knit a sweater. The pomegranate is like a special spray that protects the wool you already have from fraying. The blueberries are like a shield that stops sparks from landing on your project. But the kiwi is the basket full of new, high-quality wool itself. Without that new wool, you simply cannot knit new rows. You can't repair holes or create anything new. Vitamin C is that raw material. Without it, the body struggles to stitch new collagen fibers together, leaving the skin weaker and more prone to sagging and fine lines. With it, the skin is given the essential building blocks it needs to regenerate and restore its own youthful structure. The core reason this becomes so vital as we get older is that our body's natural collagen production engine slows down dramatically. When we were 20, our collagen factory was running 24/7, and it had all the raw materials it needed. But now, that factory is working on a much slower schedule. Therefore, providing it with a steady, high-quality supply of the most important raw material, vitamin C, becomes absolutely critical. We can't afford to have a shortage. Again, this is not just a nice theory. It is a scientifically validated fact. A fascinating study conducted in New Zealand in 2020 focused specifically on women over the age of 55. They had a group of these women eat 2 kiwi fruits every single day for 4 weeks. The researchers measured the vitamin C levels in their blood and found, not surprisingly, that they increased significantly. But here is the exciting part. This internal change translated directly into visible, external improvements. The women experienced measurable gains in both skin hydration and skin brightness. Their skin literally became more radiant, simply because they were giving their bodies the tools to renew it. I will never, ever forget one of my dearest patients, a woman named Patricia. Patricia was in her early 70s, a grandmother with the most wonderful, infectious laugh. She had come to terms with getting older, but she confessed to me that she missed the life in her skin. She said it just looked dull. We talked about the power of vitamin C, and she decided to make a simple change. She started her day, every day, with a kiwi. Sometimes she'd slice it into her cereal, other times she'd just cut it in half and eat it with a spoon. It was such a small thing. When she came back to see me a few months later, she was laughing. She leaned in conspiratorially and said, "Dr. Hart, my granddaughter looked at me last week and asked, 'Grandma, why did you start wearing makeup again?'" Patricia threw her head back and laughed. "I haven't worn makeup in 10 years. The only new thing in my life is my little green kiwi every morning." That story says it all. That freshness, that vitality her granddaughter noticed, wasn't something applied on top of her skin. It was her skin's own health, shining through from within. The simplicity of this habit is truly its greatest strength. Just 1 or 2 kiwi fruits a day provides an excellent, potent dose of the vitamin C your skin is craving. It is such a wonderfully straightforward and empowering approach, especially for those of us who have felt let down by complicated, expensive routines that promised everything and delivered very little. And this leads me to a question for you. Were you surprised to learn that kiwi has more vitamin C than an orange? If you were, it's a fun little fact to know. If so, just take a moment and type the word WOW in the comments below. It's always wonderful to learn something new that can so powerfully impact our health. Part 4. The Synergy Secret. The Power of 3. Now, we've talked about 3 remarkable fruits. Pomegranate, our protector. Blueberries, our defender. And kiwi, our rebuilder. Each one of them is a star player, wonderful and powerful on its own. And you could certainly start with just one and see beautiful benefits. But the real magic, the secret that truly elevates this from a simple health tip to a profound anti-aging strategy, happens when you bring them together. So many people miss this final, crucial step. They focus on one superfood at a time. But in my clinical experience, and as supported by science, the effects of these fruits don't just add up when you combine them. They multiply. They create a synergy. It's an idea that is so important, I want to spend a moment to make sure it's perfectly clear. Think of it like building a beautiful garden. You could have the best fertilizer in the world, that's our kiwi, providing the building blocks for growth. But if you don't have a fence to keep out the deer, that's our blueberries, defending against damage. And if you don't have something to enrich the soil you already have, that's our pomegranate, protecting your foundation, you will never have a truly thriving, resilient garden. You need all the elements working together. The fertilizer helps the plants grow strong, the fence protects them from being eaten, and the healthy soil gives them a stable home. Each part makes the other parts more effective. That is precisely what happens inside your skin when you combine these 3 fruits. They interact in ways that amplify one another's benefits, giving your skin a level of complete, holistic support that no single fruit could ever achieve alone. Pomegranate works to preserve your existing collagen, slowing its breakdown. At the same time, blueberries are standing guard, reducing the oxidative stress that would otherwise damage that collagen. And while all of that is happening, Kiwi is delivering the fresh supply of vitamin C your body needs to build new, strong collagen. It creates this beautiful, continuous, full-circle approach. Preserve, defend, rebuild, day after day. It's not just one action. It's a living system of renewal, working in perfect harmony. This idea is not just a theory. It's what modern nutritional science is proving to be true. A major scientific review, published in the highly respected journal Nutrients in 2021, analyzed dietary patterns in older adults. Their findings were clear and conclusive. Those who consumed a diverse range of antioxidant-rich fruits had significantly lower markers of inflammation and skin aging compared to those who focused on only one type of produce. In simple terms, the research confirms that variety is strength. Each fruit offers a different team of protective compounds, polyphenol, anthocyanins, vitamin C, that target distinct pathways of aging. When you combine them, you nourish and protect your body on multiple levels at once. I am reminded of my patient, Margaret, a sharp and energetic woman who had just celebrated her 68th birthday. She had been trying to eat healthy for years but felt her results had plateaued. She loved the idea of synergy, of making things work better together. So she created a simple daily ritual for herself, which she called her beauty bowl. Every morning, without fail, she would take a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt and top it with a sprinkle of pomegranate seeds, a handful of blueberries, and a few slices of fresh kiwi. It was her little act of self-care. It took her less than 5 minutes to prepare. When I saw her about 6 weeks later, the change was remarkable. It wasn't just that her skin tone looked more even, or that the fine lines around her eyes seemed softer. It was the confidence she radiated. She told me, "For the first time in years, I feel truly comfortable leaving the house without any foundation on. But the most amazing part," she said, leaning in, "is the energy I have. I feel like this little bowl of fruit has woken up my whole system." Her story perfectly captures the essence of this approach. What she was experiencing was the power of synergy, food that had accomplished what countless cosmetic jars on her shelf never could. Creating this for yourself doesn't need to be elaborate. You can create a beauty bowl, like Margaret did. Or you can blend all 3 fruits into a delicious morning smoothie. Some of my patients enjoy them fresh in a fruit salad for lunch. The preparation style is far less important than the consistency. By making this combination a part of your daily diet, you are ensuring a steady, diverse stream of compounds that continuously reinforce your skin's structure and vitality from every possible angle. It is the most loving and the most powerful gift you can give your skin. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to remember where we started. Do you remember that quiet, sinking feeling we talked about? The feeling of looking in the mirror and not quite recognizing the person looking back at you. We spoke about the deep frustration of spending your hard-earned money on expensive jars filled with empty promises, and the feeling of hopelessness that can come with it. It's a feeling that can make a person feel alone. But I hope, after our conversation today, you feel something different. I hope you feel a renewed sense of power, because you have learned that the answer, the true power to change that story, was never in an expensive jar to begin with. It has been waiting for you, patiently and humbly, in your fruit bowl all along. The most profound secret to ageless vitality isn't about fighting a war against time. It is about lovingly nourishing the life that is already within you. Pomegranate to protect, blueberries to defend, and kiwi to rebuild. It is a gentle, simple, and loving act of self-care that you have the power to give yourself every single day. And so, as we wrap up, I have one important, final question for you. Knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So I ask you, what is the one small commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It doesn't have to be a big, dramatic change. It can be as simple as, I will add blueberries to my oatmeal this week. Or, I will try a kiwi with my breakfast tomorrow. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and seeing your promise will inspire others in our community to take that first, important step. Let's make a small promise together. And if you found real value and a little bit of hope in our time together today, you can show your support by giving this video a simple thumbs up. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of this kind of practical wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just a button. It's your invitation to join a wonderful community of friends, all of us dedicated to aging with vitality and with grace, together. Finally, I ask you to think of just one person in your life right now. A sister, a mother, or a dear friend, who might really need to hear this gentle message of hope today. Please consider sharing this video with them. You truly never know whose life, or whose spirit, you might touch. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Be well.